Meanwhile, we got to talk about Bama. What in the hell is going on down there? Like, I'm looking at that going, on Nick Saban's name day, y'all decided to have once again a ball game with South Florida. It's one thing to have a ball game with South Florida in Tampa, not in Tuscaloosa. That's not. And on the day you're naming it Nick Saban Field, hell, it's 14-13 for far too long. Far too long. And I'm thinking, Nick Saban is going to say this team can't play on his field the rest of the year. He getting ready to say, y'all got to play in the parking lot from here on out. You're not good enough to play on my field. I'm looking at that going, what are you doing? Why are you getting run on like this? Why does Alex Galesh feel like he knows something about Alabama that Alabama don't know about itself? I'm telling y'all, the way that Alabama looked today and the way that Tennessee looked today, I'm inclined to pick Tennessee. That's just what it is. And if Wisconsin knows what's good for them, they're going to watch every bit of the South Florida tape, and they're going to try to give it to them on Big Noon on Saturday. I'm trying to tell y'all, Bama need to figure it out. Like, people are asking me, why did I have Ole Miss ranked above Bama in my last top 25? You're seeing it now. Why? Right there. You're seeing it now. This is why. Now, again, Ole Miss, like Missouri, ain't played nobody outside the 5A high school classification. So Ole Miss feels like 2023 Michigan, 2022 Michigan, 2021 Michigan, but they don't have Connor Stallions on the sideline. So, can't all be that good. It might be that Ole Miss might have that. I don't think they do, though. I tell you this, though. You're beating Middle Tennessee 52-6, and you're stopping a mud hole in Furman and walking it dry. You're not giving me any reason to doubt you. Not really. Meanwhile, while Alabama is playing with its food, otherwise known as the South Florida Bulls, Missouri ain't surrendered a damn point this year. The next point Missouri surrenders will be the first point it surrendered all year. Now, once again, they ain't played nobody outside of Oklahoma's 8-man classification. But, zeros is zeros. You beat up on Murray State, hooray. You beat up on Buffalo. Was it the Bills? No? Hooray. Missouri ain't got to play nobody till next week. Boston College might actually give them a game, and we only know that because Boston College beat Florida State like they stole something at Doak Campbell. I'm excited about that game. I think Missouri does not necessarily match up against a Boston College team that's going to run the football and sit on you. They're not going to give Eli Drinkwitz's offense a whole lot of opportunities to go score, and Corey Batoon's going to have to earn his paycheck next week against the BC Eagles. The Jesuits got a little something for them folks in Missouri. I'm here to tell you, I'm excited about that game. That is a low-key great game. I don't believe in trap games anymore because everything's on TV. A trap game used to be a team you don't see much of, a team that plays an offense that nobody else runs, like, Air Force or Navy, when they run those triple options, those flex bones. Those were trap games. We ain't got trap games anymore. Everybody's on television. We all see each other coming. Bama should have seen South Florida coming. Bama should have known since last year that South Florida could do this to them. They should have known this. This is known. Instead, I got to watch Bama sweat this one out. I got to watch you not know how to handle the ball, putting the ball on the floor, being undisciplined as all hell. I mean, it wasn't so much that South Florida was doing a great job of beating Alabama, so much as it was Alabama was doing a great job of beating Alabama. It ended up 42-16. I see that. But it didn't feel that way. Not till late. Not until late. I'm looking at Jalen Milroe, 15-25, 2 TDs, and 184. Difference is he didn't throw no picks in this game. I'm looking at, my goodness, Byron Brown rushing for more yards than he threw for. Quarterback. 99 rush yards, 95 passing yards. Penalties for Alabama. Check this out. 12 for 111. 3 turnovers, 3 sacks. Only nice thing they could do was rush the ball at the end. 5 of 13 on third down. Does not sound like a good football team to me. Sounds like a football team that is getting the Nick Saban bounce, and I'm trying to tell y'all Nick Saban don't coach there no more. RG, they're 2-0. So is Oklahoma. How you think Oklahoma feels about being 2-0 right now? About the same way Alabama feels about being 2-0 right now, if I'm going to tell you the truth. Shame the devil. Got church tomorrow. You better get right tonight. Don't go into service with that lie in your heart. You know who's good and who's not. We ain't got to lie about it. It's all right. Get better. Survive. That was what today was about for so many. Did you survive? Oklahoma survived, and it gets to advance. You know what I'm saying? Alabama survived, and it gets to advance. Just be sound about that. Iowa State showing up today. You know, they survived. They're 2-0. They get to advance. Big 12 is shaping up to be a really fun league this year. Oklahoma State's good. Kansas State's good. Arizona's good. Iowa State's good. Utah's good. Although Utah going to have to tell me what's going on with Cam Rising, because Utah without Cam Rising is not no Big 12 champion. That's just not going to happen. That man is more important to Utah than any other player is as important anywhere else. If he's playing for them, they can win. They can do anything. They can do anything. If he ain't, it's a problem. And you can see they were up 23-0 against Baylor because Cam Rising was being Cam Rising. Kind of want to take a look at some things we learned, some things we learned from week 2. And I want to take a look at a brief advance of my top 25, which will be out on Fox Sports tomorrow, later tonight if you're on the West Coast, around about 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, somewhere in there, West Coast time. Actually, it might be Central time. It depends on whether or not Oregon wants to get on with this or not. First thing I said earlier, Tennessee is a problem. Tennessee is a problem. They scored 69 on Chattanooga. They scored 51 on NC State. They scored 37 in the first 3 quarters against NC State. And they held NC State to nothing, not a zip, for most of the game. Like, it did not ever feel like NC State had any sort of rhythm. Tim Banks has that defense rolling with James Pierce. He's probably going to be one of the first 10 guys off the board next year. We learned that Tennessee is going to be a problem that we did not expect to see in the SEC. It's Georgia, it's Texas, it's Tennessee, it's Ole Miss, it's Missouri, it's Alabama, it's Oklahoma, you know. We also learned that if you do not hit on your quarterbacks, you have a problem in the early season. Clemson did not hit on its quarterback. Cade Klubnik against good football teams, not great. Not great. Now, they beat the hell out of the Mountaineers, took the whole can of whoop ass and poured it all over on Appalachian State tonight. But you get my point here. Against good football teams, great football teams, teams that you got to beat to win national championships, they missed on the quarterback. FSU, they missed on the quarterback. And because they missed on the quarterback, they lose to Georgia Tech and to BC. Michigan missed on Alex Orji, so they were forced to run a former walk-on in Davis Warren. So today they lost to Texas, and it was not as close as the scoreboard would tell you. That's their first loss at the Big House in 4 years. Syracuse hit on Kyle McCord. Out the gate, Fran Brown is 2-0, undefeated. Win record of 100% because he hit on his quarterback. 350 plus against Ohio, 381 against a top 25 Georgia Tech team today. 4 TDs. You needed to hit on your quarterbacks if you were this year better than more than most if you wanted to play for championships. Third thing we learned, Michigan is much worse than we thought. Much worse than we thought. The Wolverines in the Big Ten feel like Florida State in the ACC. Hear what I'm saying? Teams that started out in the top 10 that might not make the top 25 come tomorrow. We'll see what I got to think about Michigan. But right now, I got him in. I had him at 14 going into this, and I got Michigan fans going, RJ, why the disrespect? It ain't disrespect. That's who you are. Or at least that's who you were before you got beat like a drum by Texas. Ann Arbor got annexed by Texas. Came up above the Mason-Dixon line, showed you what real football looked like down here. So I'm trying to tell y'all. Donovan Edwards ain't no Mike Hart. Davis Warren ain't no Baker Mayfield. They don't have an offensive identity at Michigan, and that's worrisome. You don't know if you can run the ball well or throw the ball well. And they're likely playing for their postseason hopes in week 4 against SC. They lose that game, kiss it goodbye. They're not making the college football playoff after winning the national championship just last year. Fourth thing we learned. People really, really hate Michigan for cheating. Really, really hate. Because if you come into this show and you look at the comments, every other comment about Michigan is, it's really hard to win games if you don't know the plays, don't you? Now, I'm going to walk this out. For them, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. I still think that Texas is a better football team than Michigan, knowing the plays or not. I genuinely believe that. I told Texas fans to do this. I hope somebody did this. If you were a Texas fan, you went to the Big House today, you should have taken a photo of Bill Engvall, put it on a flyer, handed it out to Michigan fans going, here's your sign. Because I would give them the playbook and I would give them the play calls. You still wouldn't have been able to do nothing with that Texas team because you're not that good. What's the meme go? You're not that guy, man. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. You're not that guy this year, Michigan. You're not that guy.